Hi, this is Mark from Practical Accounting. In this video, I'd like to give you an introduction into Numbers. That is the payroll platform we work with. In this video, I want to stick to the basics of what is important to know at the beginning when you're dealing with the platform of Numbers. You should have received a login, and if you log in, then this is the screen you see. So firstly, what is important to know immediately? Here on the left, you see a button with employees. And if you press on that, you can see a list of all the employees of the organization. And here you can change all kinds of information and settings and process mutations. In my other videos, I'll show you how you can contribute to as good a payroll process as possible. So I'd advise you to take a look at those videos. But here you can find the employees and their information. So if we just go back to the start here with the home button, what is another important thing to know in the beginning? The salary documents. As you know, we make the pay slips, we file the tax declarations to the tax office, but how can you find those documents yourself when you're in Numbers? Well, here you see a white sheet called salary documents. And if you press on more here and you select the right year on the right, you see a couple of maps with all the salary runs that we've processed. And there you can find a couple documents that could be worthwhile to take a look at. So just for example, let's open this one. Here you see a couple of examples. For example, you see the pay slips. So if you press on that, you see the pay slips of all the employees that you can press here at the top. Those are the pay slips, how the employee would come and see them. If you want to see the pay slips that also has the specific costs for the employer, you know, when you're talking about employee insurance premiums and stuff, then here you can click on employer pay slips. So for example, if we take a look at this fictional employee, you see the premiums for the employee insurance that you as an employer pays for, but the employee won't see that on his payslip. Another worthwhile thing to check could be here the work-related cost scheme. You might have heard of this. I do all the controls for our clients involving the work-related cost scheme. And in that control, I show you how much discretionary scope you have left to spend on tax-free gifts to your employees. So for example, if you press on that map here, you see a file with work-related cost scheme. And here you can also check yourself how high the discretionary scope is, also called the free space. So, you know, if you don't want to wait for a report of me, you just want to know how high the free space is in total, then here you can see how it's built up and what the total is. So this could be a worthwhile thing to check as well. And after a year is finished, then a map is produced with the annual documents. And here there are a couple of important things to know. At the top here, you see an annual statement. And here you see the annual statement per employee that you can also download in PDF form. Another worthwhile thing is the payroll register summary. So for example, if you're with a certain insurance company involving your employees, they might ask at the beginning of a year for certain numbers, for certain wage numbers about your employees. The most common one is the SV wage. And here you see that in this column. So, you know, if you're asked for a payroll register summary, in Dutch, that's called the verzamelloonstaat, then you can find that here, you can download it. And if they only need specific numbers, you can find them here with every employee. Another important example is the payroll register all employees. This is kind of a similar sort of thing, but this combines all the employees for the total amounts of the numbers, right? So I just talked about the SV wage. Well, here that would be the column 8, wage for the employee insurance schemes. So if you want to find it for the company in total, then you can take a look here at the payroll register all employees in column 8. So this could be worthwhile to know about. In Dutch, this is called de loonstaat, alle werknemers. So if you're asked about that, you can click here and you can also download it. So that can be worthwhile to know about. If we just go back to the start, well, I just told you we make the pay slips, but we also file the tax declarations of the wage taxes to the tax office. And, you can also take a look at those when you're in numbers. When you scroll here to the bottom, you see here a white sheet called wage tax declaration. If you press more, you'll see all the declarations we filed to the tax office. And if you want, you can take a look by pressing here at the overview. And you can see how the tax declaration is built up in numbers. So then you can check this if you want to. You don't have to, but you can if you want to by going here in the system. Another thing that's worthwhile to know about involving the basics is here on the top right, you see a button called Edit Dashboard. So that allows you to choose whatever you see here at this starting page, because you see all kinds of white sheets. And when you press on Edit Dashboard, you can select the ones you want to see. I would just recommend to keep it simple. Just keep it the ones you can see now. Those are the most important in the beginning. And maybe in some of my other videos, I'll show you some other white sheets that you can then select in the edit dashboards. So you can contribute to the salary process yourself. But just keep it to this, keep it simple. But then you know how to edit it if you want to. So those are the most important basic things you need to know when you're beginning at numbers. So keep this in mind, and I'd recommend you to also take a look at my other videos.